everybody excited for the draft. Hey, Jimmy, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Going fantastic. Thanks for jumping in. I love the shirt.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Got to always
Awesome.
represent.
My pleasure. My pleasure. We both got our Caneswear shirts on.
There you
Awesome stuff.
go.
Couple of Caneswear brothers.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
it's so how you been doing?
I've been good. I've been real good.
How
Been
you?
working, been training a lot. I've been running that Key Biscayne Bridge a couple times, probably like twice every day. So it's been a lot.
Wow.
Definitely gotten a tan from it. So.
Well, that's a good thing. You don't get
Oh,
that
for
back
sure.
home, right?
No,
How
no,
long how
absolutely
long
not.
is the bridge? How long is the bridge?
When I'm done with the bridge, I mean, I start parking. I park a couple blocks down, so it's like a 4 mile there and back for me, with a couple hundred push-ups. But it's great. I mean, it's an awesome bridge. Definitely will test you. It's definitely not like a feely workout though. That's for sure. Can you guys hear me? I don't know if I like. Hey, I don't know if I lost you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Jimmy?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're
I
going a
hear
little
you
bit
now.
in
All
and
right, we're
out.
back. All right. Yeah, it's you as well. So it's must be the interference with Roger Goodell inside his basement now trying to get all the pulling all the amps for the draft tonight.
That's
So
awesome.
it's a
Yeah, no,
see
I saw that today. That's pretty crazy.
that is. So it's now the draft is tonight, as everybody knows, at 8 o'clock. We're all pumped about that, and so we thought we'd have you on
Yep,
the show tonight. Beverages with Brett and Jimmy. You got a
absolutely.
beverage, Jimmy? You got a beverage, Jimmy, today?
Yeah, I actually already have one. I
You already
have
had one.
I
Awesome,
have my
awesome.
that's
You got to
right.
stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated when you're
That's
running the
right.
bridge.
Always. Always.
Absolutely. So it's so Jimmy, tell us a little. We're going to learn a little bit about you and a little bit about and what gets you going and exciting. I know you're always positive, you're always uplifted, and always energetic. How have you been dealing with this whole COVID-19 thing?
I mean, wow, it's been kind of it's been, I think actually you turned it into a positive, like what you were saying. I mean, being with loved ones, my buddy called me from back in Connecticut and he was like, as much as I hate this being inside, it's brought me really close with his dad. It's brought me, he sees kids outside playing with their families. So there is a positive through it. And I love hearing that because, God works in mysterious ways. And I think maybe he's trying to hone in on something here.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. Families are coming together like never before.
For
I mean,
sure.
that's a beautiful thing. We get a chance to take a moment. I mean, how many opportunities we're going to have in life to go ahead and everything or most things stop and we get to spend some extra time with family. I know it's not the best reason why, but that's a great positive
Right. For
for
sure.
sure. So, Jimmy, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Avon, Connecticut.
All right, cool.
Avon,
I
Connecticut, went to Avon High School. Then I went and did a postgraduate year at Hyde and Woodstock, Connecticut. Great school.
awesome, awesome. So you played high school football there at Avon, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Falcons
What
fan for
sports?
sure.
What sports did you play?
I was a football player. I was a big-time wrestler. I loved wrestling. And then I also dabbled with lacrosse.
Awesome. And was your favorite sport football or you preferred wrestling?
No, my favorite sport was football for sure. I loved football, but I really appreciate wrestling for what it did for me as an athlete, and for any athlete that's out there that's questioning, football or wrestling. Do both. I mean, I think the more sports you could do is the better of an athlete you can become. But wrestling, the way my dad really helped me and my brother helped me kind of mend us, and we were on a national circuit, and just, I mean, it's so good for tackling, that
Hmm.
if you're doing the double leg takedown, it's anybody could tell you that I love to tackle, and I think wrestling will help you with that. It helped me for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's why you don't miss too many tackles. When you get your hands around somebody,
I
they're going
hope
down, right?
not. I hope not. I mean, there was a couple missed ones that always still haunt me, but I hope to, with Coach Banda's nice throwing drill with your left foot, but or right foot. It's just always little things like that. You try to critique yourself as an athlete, and I think wrestling definitely played a really, really good role with that, helping me come to balance before the tackle or anything like that. So I really emphasize, whether it's staying after practice and just going over the little basics, because they add up every week.
Absolutely. So you played what positions in high school?
I actually was an all-state outside linebacker for high school, and then I was a running back. I was an all-state running back too for high school football. And then for wrestling, I was a state champ for wrestling.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So did I
I
see your
won
team
state
won some
five.
championships? Did I see your
Yeah,
team won some championships? So
actually,
you must.
not my high school, my postgraduate school in Hyde Woodstock. We actually went to our first bowl game, and we won the first bowl game for the school, which is cool. And one of the kids I played with against Duke for this last year, the starting linebacker, his name is Kobe Kawanashi, and he's an awesome dude. And I played against him in that bowl game, but it was just a blast.
That's phenomenal. So you were all state in wrestling and all state in football and all state in football too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. You were well
Yeah.
decorated. Well, that's
Oh, it
awesome
was
stuff.
fun.
So
It's definitely fun.
so tell me your story. I know what made you choose to come to the U.
Um, Actually, me and my dad and my brother, my oldest brother Joe, we toured the school when I was a junior in high school at Avon High School, and I just fell in love with. I mean, obviously, if you've ever been on campus, I mean, it's just a beautiful campus. The vibes there, you got football, you have just anything, the beach, whatever you want. But I just found love for it right off the bat, that this was the school I was supposed to be at right from the start. And the palm trees in your face going. I mean, we live really where people vacation, and I know it's like so cliche, but it's so true. And I'm blessed to wake up in a place like this.
That's awesome. You get to run across the bridge, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you boat. You're boating. You like to do that as well, correct?
Oh yeah, I picked up a couple of Caneswear flags, man. I threw them right on my boat. It's actually my dad's boat. We have a 23-foot Mako, and we take it out every week. And I just love being there with family and stuff. So it's a great time. But we got to represent our Canes flags. So we get a couple people going like this, and we just shut them down. We have to throw it up
So you're a cane for life.
for life. For sure.
Absolutely. So, well, that's good to hear. So you decided to come to Miami. What years did you play for Miami?
I only really had 2 years of eligibility since Wagner didn't release my transcripts and they made me sit out a year. So I literally only had 2 years, and the 2 years that I was eligible to play, I played. I played in 2018 and 2019. So yeah, I would have loved to come back and play another year, but I was compliance for Miami really didn't comply with me. They weren't really fond of me for some odd reason, and it was
No.
hard because I really, really, really wanted to come back. But God's got a way, and I'm excited. Obviously, I'm getting ready for this draft coming up, and excited for all my teammates getting ready to go. But yeah, that kind of being only able to play 2 years was hard, but at the same time, I appreciate everything you gave to me, and I'm just blessed to be a Cane in that aspect.
Well, no, that's awesome because you went ahead and made the most of it. This last year was phenomenal. Every time, obviously, you had to feel the energy every time you got on the field or every time you made a play. I mean, the excitement in the stadium.
Oh man, I mean, I still drive by the stadium now, and I look at it, and I cherish every moment, because who knows, I might not be able to play on that field again, or maybe I am. Maybe it's in a different, it's going to be in a different uniform. So, it's definitely a blessing to be there, but I look to be playing on it pretty soon. It's funny because Braxton Berrios. Who doesn't know Braxton Berrios?
Absolutely.
And I'm eating at what's that restaurant called? It's a little bagel shop, Toasted. So me and
Mm-hmm.
Braxton, I pull up and I'm with my girlfriend. We're at Toasted, and he comes in there, and I give him a big hug because I have the utmost respect for Braxton Barris. I mean, that guy is just, I mean, come on, like if
Correct.
there's
Yeah.
a Miami Hurricane you should look up to, it's him. And I said to him, he was just like, you getting ready for the draft? And I said, yeah. I said, you got to come on my boat, yada yada yada. We get talking, and right before I left, I said, I know you're the #1 punter in the country. And I said, if I'm a gunner and I'm running down there, I'm going to knock you right out. And he looked at me. He's just like, well, I'm going to juke you out. So it's just like that mutual respect that we have for each other. He's just a great dude. And, I just look forward to playing with him again.
No, that's a great story. And Braxton is. We've had him in the store a few times, and he's
Oh,
always a class act. He's
for
amazing.
sure.
He had a great year returning kicks for the Jets this year. He was wanted him to come to Miami, and I remember saying it to being a lifelong Dolphin fan. I remember saying it to him after he got drafted by the Patriots. Brax, I would have loved for you to come to Miami, and he said I would have loved to be in Miami, but they had so many opportunities and they kept passing, and every
Right.
Dolphin fan was like, "No, we need Braxton." So that was a
Right.
tough one. So that was really tough. So I'm glad you have a good relationship with a lot of players.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love my guys. Every time Red Wine comes in, Jaquan, even Red reaches out to me all the time. I mean, you name it. I love all of it. Mark Walton. I have utmost respect for a lot of those guys, and there isn't too many guys that the U just produces great people. So I
Absolutely,
talk to a lot of them.
absolutely. So you're closest with the guys that you mentioned.
Yeah, yeah, from the guys I mentioned, even guys
All right.
currently on the team.
Do you feel there's that when you see guys that are former Canes and they may not even know you that well, you go up to them and you start some kind of symbiotic, some kind of special relationship with them? You think there's a great connection?
I think once you're a Kane, it's weird. Even when you could say KJ Osborne came in this year and obviously had a phenomenal year, but I look at his story and sometimes he puts up his Buffalo stuff, that he came from Buffalo, and he's still I still think he's a Kane because obviously, once when you put on that helmet, if you earn it, you have to, there's an initiation process where you have to earn it, and it's not just given. You can't just walk on that field and just say, hey, I'm a Hurricane, because you're not. You have to kind of earn that respect from people. And if you work for it and people notice that, and whether you get a shot on the field or not, people will tip their hat to you. So I definitely see that in a lot of guys that I played with, for sure.
No, that's great because I agree. Michael Irvin once said, "Just because you put on the uniform doesn't make you a Cane. You got to
Yeah.
live it. You got to breathe it. It's got to be within
Yeah.
your blood."
Anybody can be a cheerleader, for sure. You know what I mean?
No
Anybody can
doubt,
be,
no doubt.
so.
Absolutely. So you played for 2 years. You played for Coach Diaz and you played for Coach Rick as well, correct?
Yep.
Now, how would you compare their styles?
Both great guys, both different styles. Uh, I love Coach Rick just because he was the first one who gave me my scholarship, and
Mm-hmm.
it definitely was a helpful hand for me and my family. But Coach Diaz definitely. Their styles are way different, whether it's in the locker room or I think you can kind of see where Coach Diaz brings a lot of his style to it, and I can't really describe both of their styles. Just seeing the kind of persons they are, they're all about God. They have a lot of similarities. They have a lot of overlapping, but some detailed differences in practices. Watching film, how we watch film, but both great styles. Clearly, I definitely think Coach Diaz is going to have an awesome year, and I think Coach Rick, obviously, his resume speaks for himself.
Exactly. I totally agree with you there. So you're in Miami. You're playing for both coaches,
Yep.
and you got which coach helped you out the most? Not only can it be head coach, position coach. Which is the coach that really helped you the most? Do you believe? You don't have to
Such
answer if you don't want.
No, that's okay. That's a great question. Because there were so
Thank you.
many coaches helped me out a lot. I don't know if it was I don't think it was I think there was a lot of coaches at Miami that helped me in different ways, but I think the one real coach that kind of took me under his wing was Coach Rick and saying, "Hey, listen, this kid can actually play." And then showing the coaches and giving me my shot on kickoff, and then I kind of adapted to a special teams kind of ace.
That's awesome. So Coach Rick, yeah, there was something when I met, every time I met Coach Rick, I mean, he didn't know me from anyone, but he would just introduce himself. I remember at Paradise Camp, I was out there,
Yeah,
and I mean, he would just sit there and just talk to you. I mean, he was just like an everyday person. I mean, Coach Diaz is the same. I've seen him.
yeah,
He'll stop eating. He'll talk to so both those guys are really good family men. I mean, and you can tell they care about the players. It's not just winning and losing in X's and O's. It's about people.
120%. Both great. Both, I mean, amazing. There's not one bad thing I can say about those guys.
Great to hear. Yeah, that's always good. When you're leaving a program, you know, you want to be positive about it. It doesn't,
Oh, for
like
sure.
I think Coach Rick said, I mean, granted, we all want rings as fans. You know, we're accustomed at Miami to win rings. You know, we won those 5 championships. 6 to a lot of people out there will say, Brett, it was 6. We won in 2002 championship.
Yeah,
But you know what Coach Rick said? You know, rings are one thing, but relationships and building people and building character is also something special.
absolutely. And I think
So what's your favorite? Sorry.
yeah, that game does. No, I just think that this game that we're in it does that to you. Even, it's funny that you say that because Coach Rump actually was saying that to me. I asked him right before a couple of my last games. I was like, "Hey, Coach, what means the most to you as a player? Was it the national championships?" And I knew he wasn't going to say the national championships. He was just saying, it was the relationships I built. He goes, and the guys I can call, whether it was the walk-ons and knowing what we went through. And I still call Coach Feely the way I do. I still call, Pastor Mike. I could still go up to Coach Packy. It's like, it's so funny because I'm still part of the team because, they allow me to be. And that I think you've earned their respect in that aspect, but they're just great people to be around. So I know this program's really protected by it.
That's great to hear. That really is. Which game? I know there was one special game, but what game was your favorite game of the year or of the 2 years that you remember the most?
What game do you think was my favorite game?
Well, obviously, I don't. The game, obviously, you scored the touchdown. I would think it's your favorite game, but I have a feeling it may not be.
That's actually my least favorite game.
Really?
Yeah, it actually is because I think that game, I think where people gets it kind of handsy is like the Rudy comparisons and everything like that. I just think I think Rudy was a great guy. I think he was great, but I think our stories are just way different in that aspect. So it's like I appreciate a story, but we were just so different alike, and I think I've got a lot of feedback from that play. But if I were to go back, I wouldn't change a thing because it kind of built up, and then people kind of realized, oh, okay, you can actually play football on special teams, which is great, But I think my favorite game was when I got the chain because my dad and my mom and my girlfriend and X amount of people were there, and my sister, my brother, and everyone was there just cheering me on and just going over there and sharing that moment with them, whether it was driving back up to the Boca Resort after and just looking around and being with the family afterwards. It was kind of like a win in that aspect. So it was just an unbelievable feeling, and I was excited to share with my dad.
That's wonderful. I mean, that's so important. I had a lot of special memories with my dad, and it was just you got to. Those memories were so important when you make them, and you can always remember them. So that's really special. That's really nice. See, most people would have thought it was the touchdown.
Yeah.
Actually, one of your big fans, Dolphin Derek, says you need to write a book. So I know. So there you go. Something to maybe think about.
Too funny.
They've talked about you comparing to Rudy, and you can explain how it's not exactly the same comparison, of course, but
Right.
and what you've gotten, and with your attitude and your energy and everything you bring to the table, I think it would be a great book. I'd be glad to write it with you, actually, because
You want to write a book?
Absolutely, let's write one.
Okay, you know my number.
All right, we're in. Thank you, Dolphin Derek. Okay?
We'll get it going.
We'll put them on the credit. We'll put them on the credit for sure.
Listen, they're only being sold in Canesware now.
Oh, there you go. We'll go. We'll start at Canesville, and then it'll be such a big seller. Everybody's going to want to read it. So we can't go ahead and leave out the rest of the country or the world for that matter.
You're right.
Now we need to spread the love, Jimmy. We need to spread the love.
You're right.
Now, Jimmy, going back to the least favorite game. Okay, obviously it may have been yours, but you did score. You know, you had an amazing game. You were put in as a running back, and that highlight
Yep.
over and over of you going around and scoring that touchdown. I mean, it had to be a great feeling, though.
Oh, it was an unbelievable feeling. I mean, you couldn't take that memory away. But I think the worst game for me was FIU. You know, I think that
Oh,
was a
it
real.
was the
I
worst
think
game
that.
for all of us. We felt Orange Bowl. It was the old stomping grounds. I
Oh,
used to go ahead and vend at that stadium when I was younger in high school and sell Cokes and watch the Canes and watch the Dolphins. So that game was, you're breaking my heart, Jimmy. You're breaking my heart here.
that game was a
How
tough
was the
game, but
team?
I think that was. Sorry, I like moved my phone. Um, I think you'll. That game was a real pivotal moment for our program. At that moment was the worst kind of rock bottom for us. But I think towards the end that you'll see now going forward that's gonna help us a lot because we knew what we knew what rock bottom felt like. So I think we have a couple great tools. You know, I've actually met Derek King, and the first thing I said to him, because he actually lives in the building over next to me, I said, whatever you do, man, you have to earn that U on your helmet. You can't just walk in here and think you're the guy. And he could have took that two ways. He could have been like brushing her off and just what I mean.
Hmm.
But he didn't, and he like treated that with a lot of respect in that aspect. So I'm really excited what he can do because I know how athletic he is, and I know what kind of mindset he is, and he's not a me guy, and that's what we don't need. I think we need is a team guy. So I think he's a real good fit for our program, and I like Coach Likens. I like the new Lashley. I like all those dudes. I met them. I like them a lot. I would.
Well, that's an awesome testament. I was going to ask you about that. I mean, I do believe also, just like you really, until you hit rock bottom, and I do believe the FIU game was rock bottom. I mean, and then obviously, I mean, if that wasn't rock bottom, obviously the bowl game was. And if you go ahead and you need to feel, I mean, you need to feel that despair sometimes. You need to feel like and get everything taken away from you before you can really ascend to the top a lot of times.
Right.
And and what Coach Diaz did, in my opinion, has been phenomenal. I mean, people are all over him. I know the fans on social media, they're up, they're down, they're up. I mean, you won you won the 3 games in a row. Coach Diaz is back. Everybody's loving him. They lose a couple, we hate him again. But a first year does not make any coach, does not make any person's career. I mean, there's been so many coaches that have had big. I mean, Nick Saban's had when he was at Michigan State was not a world beater. He was not a world beater his first year as Alabama. But Coach Diaz, he went ahead and he needed a quarterback. He got it. I mean, first thing he needed an offensive coordinator. He got it. He needed a kicker. I mean, he got it. He needed a defensive end. He got it. Whatever he needed, he went out and got the best of them. So
Hmm.
I think that's when someone can go ahead and realize that I'm not going to do it. I'm going to change things up. I'm going to be better. I think that's what shows greatness and an opportunity at greatness.
Yeah. No. I mean, you've hit all the notes. He goes out and gets it. Just if I were to build off that, he's just he's a great person, and he's a person you want to play for, and for sure. I mean, who I was getting a call, but I think I think a lot of recruits need to understand that it isn't a right to play for the University of Miami. It's a privilege. I think I could say that it's not a right, it's a privilege to play there. And I just understanding, if you get into a University of Miami scholarship, I mean, come on. Like if I was coming out of high school getting a University of Miami scholarship, I would I'd be doing backflips just getting there. So it's like it'd be crazy, but everyone's story is different, and I think people need to understand we are a top five program. Obviously, we've had a couple down years, but I think this year, you have a great leadership. You have got Greg Russo, you got Mike Harley, you got Derek King coming in, so you got guys.
Mm-hmm. I agree, 100%. Now, you said a backflip. Now, someone that we both know, Eric Dunn, wonderful guy, great guy. I love Eric. He had said to me
Yeah,
today, he said, Brett, see, ask Jimmy if he thought about the cartwheel before he did it in that, when you did the cartwheel or the flip, whatever you want to call that. I mean, were you thinking
yeah.
about it before? Is this something you always planned on doing?
So yeah, no, everything I do is just kind of like on the spot. I really couldn't even, I can't even make this stuff up. It's just how I play with a lot of, I play with a lot of passion, I guess. And sometimes my dad will be like, "Hey man, why don't you just tone it down a little bit?" But, it's kind of like it's like I just feel it, and I just love. And this is what the game, the game has given me so much. So I just can't. I can't. I play with a lot of passion for it.
No, that's awesome. I'm like that too. It's just it's hard to go and prepare and plan just off the cuff. It's just all over the place. So it sounds like you and your dad have an amazing relationship.
Oh my God, my dad and my mom, but like for sure, like I mean, my whole family were so close. Whether it's my aunt, all my aunts, my uncle Matt. I mean, they're always there supporting me, and it's just I have just such an unbelievable support system in that aspect. So I'm blessed with that. But for sure,
That's awesome.
my dad's in my corner regardless.
That's great. What did you major in at Miami?
I was a pre-med major.
Pre-med, and you probably had a relatively good GPA, I assume. No,
I had an okay GPA, like a 3.567.
that's pretty good for pre-med. All right. So one day you may want to go into medical
Oh yeah, for
after
sure.
your NFL career is over.
Hey, yeah, after it's over and after we get there, bro. Right now, we just got to focus on one thing, and that's getting there.
So what? So this weekend is the draft. Obviously
Yep.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's a little different than ever because I was just listening today to the radio, a national show, and what they were saying. I think it was ESPN, and they were saying that the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round, they find a lot of guys from smaller schools. I mean, you're not from a small school, but that they may not have seen before because of the tryouts and everything like that, and the
I know.
showcases. In your case, unfortunately, you didn't have an opportunity to have one at Miami, correct?
No, nope, I
So
did
you think
not.
that's going to
But
affect?
yeah, I think it's going to affect a lot of things. But I just believe in the higher power, and I just have to go and go with my gut and know if I get a tryout anywhere or if I get picked. I mean, just got to come with the right attitude.
If there was somebody from a team listening now, what would you say? What's a good reason why a team? Why would my Miami Dolphins want Jimmy Murphy on the team?
Um, it's funny. I filled out a couple paperwork for a couple of teams that I've been dealing with, but and I won't say the team name, but they asked me on the questionnaire. They were like, what do you think is most important? Athleticism, leadership, or accountability. And I'm going to pick accountability and then leadership and then athleticism, just because I want to be there and I want to. What you see is what you get with me. I'm going to be there at work an hour earlier than you. No matter if I figure out what time you get there, I'm going to get there before you. So you know you're going to get commitment out of me. You're going to get leadership out of me, and you're definitely, hopefully, you could see a little bit of athleticism out of me. But I think it's important to build that chemistry and know you can rely on somebody, and that's what I think I bring to the table in that aspect. Because I want to see that with my teammates, because I know that works. I mean, look at the Patriots. Clearly, the Patriots. They're people show up to work. People want to go to work, having the right attitude to go to work, and that's huge for me because that's what you want to be around.
No, absolutely. People are, character of the team is so important. I look at, the Patriot teams, the only perfect season team, the Miami Dolphins in 1972. All of them, they had so many great
I
people,
love it.
so many doctors. So, I mean, they just had great people. I mean, they had doctors. They had just professionals. It was just, you know, uh, if you have great people inside and out, okay, it's not only about the athlete, it's just the person, the character, the accountability, like you say. I always say,
Absolutely.
you want to find the right person, the guy that looks in the mirror every day and says it all starts with me. You don't blame anybody else because it's so easy to blame somebody else, so easy to blame a teammate, a spouse, a friend, a coworker. But you know what? When you look in the mirror and say it all starts with me, it all ends with me. You can't blame anybody else. So if an NFL team is listening, that is great. So in the NFL, you like, thank you. So you like to play. You're a great special teamer, right?
Yep.
You can play what other position? Obviously, I think if you were playing running back, I think it would be very difficult to tackle you.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, I'm going in there in the mindset where wherever they want me to do, I'm gonna do it. I could play whatever scheme they have and wherever they want me, but I'm a guy that would love to just go and play special teams. I really idolize Matt Slater. He plays for the New England Patriots. Just signed a $5 million deal. But I mean, he's one of the best guys running down there on kickoff, and you can rely on him. And I think that's a guy. Whether they're going to put me in an offensive role or not, it doesn't matter to me. Just as long as it's going to benefit the team. And I think that's what I want to bring. It's I'm not a me guy. I really want to be about the team. If that's what I want to help that team grow.
No, that is great. Have you seen the movie The Invincible ever? What is it? Not Invincible. Is it?
Invincible.
With,
Can you
yeah.
hear me?
So that movie is
Invincible.
phenomenal. I mean, the Eagles needed a guy like that. Invincible. The Eagles needed a guy
That's
like
my
that.
that's my movie, man.
Someone that
If
goes
you tell
ahead.
me a movie, that's my movie. That's my movie
All
for
right.
sure. So that's what me and my dad kind of, that's we. It's funny because it's funny that you say that. Me and my dad, we were just watching that movie a couple weeks ago, and we remember when it came out, but it's kind of funny when he's running down there on kickoff and he just crushes somebody and he points to his fan section, his family. It reminds me of my family and being there and pointing at them and having that feeling. It kind of was like, wow, this is our story and it's going to be continued. So, we just laugh about it now, but there's a lot more work that needs to be done.
Absolutely. So you're just gonna obviously you're waiting. Hopefully, some NFL team decides to go ahead and believes in you and believes in character, believes in everything that you said, and hopefully
Yep,
that will be the case. And if it's not, hopefully one somebody will find you and say, we want this. We want Jimmy Murphy 29 on our team.
that'd be awesome.
That'll be awesome. Jimmy, a couple of last minute questions. Do you any NFL players in your favorite team is obviously you're from the New England area, so your favorite team is probably the Patriots, right?
I grew up a Giant fan, but my favorite player is Tom Brady.
Okay, great. You're a Giant fan, awesome. So,
Yep.
there's a kind there's a big rivalry in the that year I said perfect season. I once saw a decal that said
But
one
one Giant loss.
exactly 60 is one giant loss. So that as Dolphin fans, and I know there's a lot of Dolphin fans probably listening in, that our biggest games, our two biggest games probably in the last 30, 25 years are when the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, especially the one that they went ahead and preserved the undefeated rights that we have.
Right.
But so Tom Brady, this why? Because obviously, also one of the reasons that he was looked over, he always had that chip on his shoulder, or just the way he played.
I just think I love how he attacks every day, regardless of him going 199th overall. I think he says it well. I mean, he wakes up every day with the same attitude, but I mean his work ethic is unbelievable. I mean he's what 42, 43, and he's still mentally and physically. I mean I don't know about physically, but he's definitely getting the job done. I think he's an unbelievable person to idolize. And growing up, I don't think anybody who could argue say he's not one of the best quarterbacks. I mean I just couldn't talk to you about it. Like I would just have to tilt the other way. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think Rodgers is great, but when you talk about Tom Brady, he's just the guy that I wanna emble for.
Yeah, I mean, as a Dolphin fan, we were never fans of his, but now that he's on Tampa Bay, I probably can take him a little bit better. But what happens if Tampa Bay went ahead and picked and either drafted you or picked you up, and you were sitting there in the locker room and you saw Tom Brady? What do you think the first? I mean, I don't know if you've seen him before, but what would be the first thing you say to him?
My first thing to say to him was, "Let's go get this W, man." So, I mean, it's different. It's different once when we're on that field together, because it's not that stuff, that like kind of little kid stuff, that goes away, because now we're talking, we're talking my livelihood, and we're talking, this is work. And I've seen that guy, so there's going to be a different click. It's going to be great being with that guy if I could, and I would be honored to. But whoever I get in front of, it doesn't matter, just as long as we're going to work, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Awesome, awesome. Anybody in the draft that you're looking forward to seeing drafted? Obviously, the Canes players. Uh, any thoughts on that?
Only the Canes guys. I don't.
All you
I,
care.
I only care about my Canes guys. You know, good luck to all the other athletes, and I love them. I think they'll be great, but I only care about the guys that are coming out of this team.
That's awesome. Well, Jimmy, I don't know if you're seeing the comments, but I'm seeing them. There's so many people saying, "We love you, Jimmy. We love you, Jimmy. We
Uh,
love you, Jimmy." The amount
thank
of
you so,
love that is pouring out for you is phenomenal.
thank you so much,
Dolphin Derek,
guys.
they do love you. You are a fan favorite for sure, which
Thank
is
you so
amazing.
much.
2 years you played, but it is the amount of love. And I said so. I mean, I think the Canes fans will always be following you.
Uh,
Dolphin Derek has a question he always asks everybody. Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
no, no, absolutely, absolutely not. I do not like pineapple. My dad might. I mean, he likes everything on his pizza.
So, Jimmy, last thing, any life experience or any experiences of you or anything you want to tell your fans out there?
Yeah. If you got a dream, go get it. You know, it doesn't matter what you're going through in life. You know, don't sit there and do nothing and just say, I have a dream. Go out there and go grab your dream. Work for your dream. Chip at your dream. Whatever it is, there's going to be people that are going to knock you along the way. And you know what? Those people are the best people that can motivate you. So embrace what you have. Love what you do. I mean, I'm a 5'6", 5'7" kind of football player right now. Was captain of the Miami Hurricanes. And you know what? I don't know if 3 years ago people would have ever thought I would have been that. So you know what? If you gotta go, if you have a dream, go get it, protect it. If the people that are behind you have them close to you, if they're not, make sure you use them as motivation. You go get what's yours. And if you're just about saying it, don't say it at all, and don't do it. If you're gonna really want to go get something in life that's hard to reach, go get it because it's possible.
That's beautiful. I mean, you and I'm not just saying this. Anyone that knows me will know this is true. We speak the same language. It's amazing, Jimmy. I mean, the energy, the positive, that's what it's all about. I mean, and follow your dream is for sure. So that's a beautiful thing. So well, Jimmy, you have anything for me?
Yeah, listen, next time I come in Canes, where you gotta just tell me what to get, and I'll stock up on everything. I'll bring the whole team in there for you.
Well, we appreciate it. Well, Jimmy, for being a guest on our show, on my show, Beverages with Brett, you're going to get a $50 gift card from Canes where you can start spending right away.
You
All
guys are
right?
awesome. Listen, you guys listen. I can't say too many nice things about you guys. Caneswear, listen, no matter where I went around, and this is not just with like for anything or giving a pat on someone's back, you guys have just been so great hosting me. All the guys that said they came out of there, they're like, man, they're just good dudes, and I just want to be around people like you guys. You guys are awesome, so I can't thank you enough.
Well, Jimmy, thank you. Well, listen, we're wishing you, I mean, all your fans, us at Caneswear, which are huge fans. I wasn't there that day, the day you were at signing at the store, but everyone was just amazed. They just loved being around you, the energy. So we're wishing you all luck. I'm going to be looking for your name to be called. And, no matter what happens, I know you're going to be a huge success. So we're very excited. And I thank you so much for being on the program with us.
Thank you so much, man. I'll see you guys, all right? Thank you guys
We'll
so
see you
much.
soon. Take
Thanks
care,
for
Jimmy.
having me.
Thanks so much. You got it.